Welcome, eternal transfer. Chosen ones, hear this clearly. You are not here by chance. Heaven has orchestrated this very moment, guiding your steps to this divine encounter. You are standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. Your appointed time has arrived, the shift you have been waiting for. The supernatural breakthrough is upon you now. The resources that once eluded you are being realigned. The blessings long delayed are now flowing to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Heaven's clock has struck for you, and there is no more delay. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, the vision is for an appointed time, though it lingers. Wait for it, it will surely come and will not delay. Chosen one, that time is now. The walls that have held you back are trembling. The waiting, the confusion, the silence. None of it was in vain. All has been building to this very moment. You have been called for this divine shift. What once seemed impossible is now within reach. Your faith, your obedience, your perseverance have all led you to this Kairos moment. Now take a deep breath and prepare. This is the time you've prayed for, and it's unfolding in ways you never imagined. Heaven is moving in your life, and what happens next will be a testament to divine timing and fulfillment. Chosen ones, you are standing at the threshold of something extraordinary, something that's been destined for you long before you were born. You are not here by accident, nor are you stumbling upon this moment by chance. Heaven has orchestrated this moment, and the timing is perfect. Every delay, every struggle, every moment of waiting you've endured was not in vain. They were preparing you, shaping you for what's about to unfold. As it's written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it, it will surely come and will not delay. Chosen ones, that appointed time has arrived. Heaven's clock has struck, and this is your Kairos moment. The moment when God's timing intersects with your life in a way that will change everything. The waiting season has ended, and you are stepping into your divine breakthrough. The things that were once delayed, the blessings that seemed to slip through your fingers, are now being released to you. The doors that seemed shut are now opening wide, and the wealth, favor, and opportunities that you've been praying for are being positioned directly in front of you. The years of hardship, the silent seasons, the moments when you questioned if heaven had forgotten your name, they are over. You are about to step into a season of supernatural favor, divine promotion, and anointing like never before. You have been chosen for this. Heaven has seen your faithfulness, your patience, and your perseverance. Even in the toughest times, when you felt forgotten, overlooked, or rejected, God was preparing you. He was strengthening you, refining you, and building your capacity for the greatness that is about to unfold in your life. The battles you've faced were never meant to break you, but to shape you for the authority you're about to walk in. The enemy tried to distract you, discourage you, and make you doubt your purpose. But, chosen ones, every setback was simply God's way of setting you up for the victory that is coming. Every attack, every betrayal, every trial you have endured was not a sign of defeat. It was divine resistance training. You were being prepared for this very moment, for the level of authority you are about to step into. You are not just walking into a breakthrough. You are walking into dominion. As you listen to this message, feel the atmosphere around you shift. It's not just a coincidence that you are hearing these words right now. Heaven is moving in your life, rearranging the unseen realms, making divine alignments. The Spirit of God is breathing upon you, and everything that has been hidden is now being brought into the light. What was once delayed is now accelerating. The resources that were once withheld from you are now being released in abundance. The oil upon your life is awakening. You are no longer just a reflection of your circumstances. You are becoming the manifestation of heaven's promises. Those who once doubted you, those who tried to hold you back, will now have no choice but to look up in awe. Because when divine timing meets divine obedience, transformation becomes visible, and you, chosen ones, are about to be that living proof, and the Spirit of God is stirring in your life like never before. You are no longer just waiting for your breakthrough. You are now walking in it. You may feel it deep within your spirit, that sacred stirring, that divine pressure that is not meant to break you, but to align you with your destiny. This moment, chosen ones, is not just symbolic, it is catalytic. The shift is happening, and you are in the perfect position to receive of it. Everything in your life has been preparing you for this. The trials, the waiting, the growth, all of it was to equip you for the greater things that are coming. This is your time, your appointed season. The doors are opening, the provision is being released, and the favor of God is descending upon you. What you thought was impossible, what you thought you had missed, is now unfolding before your eyes. Stay aligned with God's will, stay focused, and walk boldly into this new season. Your breakthrough is not only about what you receive, it's about who you become in the process. It's about stepping into the fullness of your purpose, the fullness of your identity. You are walking in divine favor, and the world will not be able to ignore the transformation taking place in you. This is your season of manifestation. Chosen ones, walk with confidence, walk with humility, and walk with the authority that God has placed in you. The atmosphere is shifting. Your breakthrough is here, and heaven is declaring over your life, it is your time. The waiting is over. The doors are open. The blessings are pouring in. Now is the time to step into everything God has prepared for you. You are not just stepping into a new season, you are stepping into the fullness of your destiny. The heavens have spoken, and now it is time for you to walk in the fullness of that declaration. Chosen ones, this is the appointed moment. Step forward, receive what has been prepared for you, and allow God to do the unimaginable in your life. The time of manifestation is now. Chosen ones, there comes a moment when the pressure you have carried no longer feels like weight, but like divine tension, the kind that stretches a promise until it is ready to break open. This is that moment, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Heaven does not delay when obedience meets alignment, and I speak this gently but firmly. Chosen one, because I have walked through that silent valley where nothing moved, where doors stayed closed, where every prayer felt like it dissolved into the ceiling. And yet, behind the silence, something was building. There were days I questioned if my steps were even being counted, days where faith became quieter, not because it weakened, but because it matured. You may know that feeling, where you stop begging and start believing without noise, where your tears change from desperation into surrender. That's when heaven starts moving. Not when you panic, but when you finally trust. Chosen ones, what you felt as delay was actually divine sequencing. God does not work like human schedules. There are systems you could not have sustained without first being reshaped. There are rooms you prayed for entrance into that would have crushed you if opened too early. So heaven held the door shut for love, not punishment. And now that door is responding to your name. Look at your life, the isolation, the misunderstanding, the way certain relationships faded without explanation. That wasn't loss. That was preparation. Some people were never meant to follow you where God is taking you. They were assignments for a season, not forever, and releasing them wasn't abandonment, it was obedience. God was lightening your load so you could walk faster. I remember when I stood in that same field of uncertainty, where everything familiar had vanished and all that remained was the call. It felt lonely, almost disorienting, but later I understood. God was stripping away every voice that could distort his. He wasn't removing people. He was removing interference. Chosen one instruct. The reason your spirit has been restless lately isn't anxiety. It's activation. Deep inside, something recognizes the shift. The atmosphere around your life is changing frequency. You're stepping out of survival mode and into stewardship, not just to receive, but to carry, not just to be blessed, but to manage blessing. You are not about to receive favor because you suffered. You're about to receive favor because you remained faithful while suffering. That is a difference heaven honors. And now, let me speak clearly. There is a financial dimension to this transition, not because wealth defines you, but because your assignment requires provision. God does not call people into purpose without supplying what purpose needs. The doors you see opening in your career, the unexpected conversations, the sudden ideas, the shifts in opportunity, they are not random. They are part of a coordinated release. But hear this carefully. Chosen one, the blessing isn't chasing your hustle, it's responding to your alignment. When your heart stays clean, when your motives remain pure, when your hands remain open, heaven entrusts more, not because you demand it, but because you're safe to carry it. I've seen people receive abundance and lose peace, but what's coming for you is not that. What's approaching you carries peace with it. It will not overwhelm you. It will settle into your life with divine order. Because you were trained in the quiet before you were seen in the open, right now there are conversations being held with your name attached. There are decisions being made where your absence has already been corrected. There are resources being reassigned because heaven has marked you as a steward, not a spender. This is not about luxury. This is about legacy. Chosen ones. Your life is entering the phase where authority starts showing, not loudly, but clearly. You won't need to announce your arrival. The change will be evident in your atmosphere, your speech, your calm, your discernment. People will feel it before you explain it. Stay grounded, stay thankful, stay aligned. Because what comes next won't just shift your season, it will redefine your position. Chosen ones. This moment requires more than excitement. It requires precision of spirit. Because when heaven moves, the unprepared try to rush it. But chosen one, this is not a season for rushing. This is a season for alignment. What is being released over your life is not fragile, but it is selective. It responds to posture. It responds to humility. It responds to discernment. Chosen one. Some of you are feeling a strange tension right now. A pressure that feels like anticipation mixed with uncertainty. You're not afraid, but you're not fully relaxed either. That's because you're standing between what you survived and what you're about to step into. And the bridge between the two is obedience. Heaven is not just giving you new doors. Heaven is teaching you which ones to ignore. Because not every open door is a lifted door. Some will open only to test if you still crave validation. Some will open to see if you still move from fear instead of peace. And that's why your training wasn't just about endurance. It was about awareness, chosen one. Your discernment is sharper now because of what you went through. You no longer need to explain your no. You no longer need to justify your boundaries. You don't need to entertain what no longer aligns just because it sounds like opportunity. When God promotes you, everything does not come with elevation. Some things come with distraction disguised as favor. And here's where many lose momentum. Not because the promise wasn't real, but because they misread the season. You are not in a season of desperation. You are in a season of selection. And that means you move differently. You don't grab. You don't chase. You observe. You listen. You wait for peace, not urgency. Because the enemy tries to attach chaos to divine transitions, just to rush you into wrong choices. But chosen one, heaven didn't bring you this far to let confusion lead you now. There will be people reappearing, old connections, old opportunities, even old platforms that once ignored you. Some will come because your atmosphere has changed, not because their hearts have. And this is not bitterness. This is clarity. You must not let nostalgia blind you where God has finally given you vision. Enemies don't always come as enemies. Sometimes they return as supporters who never supported when you were invisible. Be discerning. Also understand this. When heaven begins a financial shift, it doesn't always announce it through numbers first. It often announces it through preparation. You'll notice your thinking changing before your account changes. You'll notice how you handle money differently before money handles you differently. You'll notice impulse leaving, wisdom increasing, peace guarding your decisions. That's because provision flows toward maturity, not just need, chosen one. The reason delay existed was not because God withheld. It was because you were being shaped to carry weight without losing balance. Wealth isn't just attracted to faith, it's attracted to stewardship. And I want to tell you something from my own life. There was a season when I thought God forgot me because nothing was moving. I prayed, I sowed, I waited, I stayed faithful in silence. And then one day, the flow started. But what surprised me wasn't the blessing, it was how different I had become when it arrived. The old me would have mishandled it. The old me would have rushed it. The old me would have spoken too much, trusted too quickly, spent too emotionally. But the season of crushing changed me, and that crushing wasn't rejection. It was refinement, chosen one. That's why you're still standing. That's why you didn't break. That's why you didn't quit. Because fire doesn't just burn, it selects. And right now, the reason you're feeling this spiritual pressure is because your assignment is getting close. Your environment will start responding. People will look at you differently, not because you announced anything, but because your spirit changed its frequency. Rooms will feel smaller. Conversations will feel shallow. Old jokes will stop making sense. Not because you are better, but because you're moving forward. This is what elevation feels like before it becomes visible. And in the next part, we're going deeper into how this transition will affect your relationships, your visibility, and the way people respond to your presence. Because when God elevates a chosen one, He doesn't just bless them, He rearranges everything around them. Chosen ones. What you're stepping into next is not just a change of circumstance, it's a shift of position. And position changes how people treat you. It changes how rooms respond to you. It changes how opportunities recognize you. That's why heaven never elevates without first isolating. Because most people can handle advancement, but very few can handle the attention that comes with it. Chosen one. Your presence is about to start carrying weight, not because you demand it, not because yes chase it, but because authority recognizes authority. You're going to notice something strange very soon. People who used to control conversations will start pausing when you speak. People who used to overlook you will start watching you carefully, not because you're changing your volume, but because your silence now carries more truth than their noise. This is the phase where God shifts you from invisible to undeniable. And listen carefully. This stage can feel uncomfortable because when you've spent years blending in, fading out, being quiet for safety, being small for peace, suddenly being seen feels like exposure. But it's not exposure, it's positioning. You're not being put on display, you're being set in place, and with new position comes new reactions. Some will suddenly admire you, some will envy you, some will try to study you, some will try to mimic you, some will distance themselves. Don't take any of it personal. When light increases, everything reacts differently. And the biggest test is not how people treat you, it's how you respond when they do. Chosen one. Don't become hard, don't become cold, don't become defensive. Stay soft in spirit. Stay clear in mind. Stay disciplined in boundaries. Because next level favor requires next level emotional control. Some will try to reconnect only because they recognize your new level, not because they honor your journey. And this is where your discernment will protect your peace. You don't have to reject everyone, but you must not regain everyone. Not everyone who returns has permission to re-enter. Some people are meant to witness your elevation, not walk inside it. And hear me clearly. Distance doesn't mean hatred. Distance means protection. God will not allow old drains to reopen when He's releasing new flows. And this includes relationships, environments, platforms, even familiar places. You might feel a detachment from spaces that once felt safe, not because they're evil, but because they're outdated. Elevation changes appetite. What once satisfied you won't satisfy you anymore. What once entertained you will now irritate you. What once impressed you will now bore you. Not because you're arrogant, but because you've been recalibrated. And some will not understand this. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you become distant. They'll say you're not the same. And they'll be right. Because you cannot carry new oil with old containers. Chosen one. God never upgrades people without also upgrading their standards, which means your tolerance is shrinking because your assignment is expanding. And here's the part nobody warns you about. Elevation can be lonely at first, not because you're alone, but because you're in transition. You're between who you were connected to and who you're about to be connected to. And the enemy tries to make this gap feel like loss. But it's not loss, it's recalibration. It's heaven changing your circle to match your ceiling. Because the next level requires new voices, new thinkers, new builders, new partners. And they can't meet you while you're still clinging to old familiarity. So God creates distance, not to punish, but to prepare. And as for your finances, get ready. Because when positioning happens in the spirit, provision starts shifting in the natural, not always as a sudden jackpot, but as access, connection, alignment, visibility, opportunity. You will start to see doors opening not because you force them, but because alignment removed resistance. Your name will start coming up in rooms you never walked into. Ideas you carried in silence will find platforms. People with resources will feel drawn without knowing why. Because provision follows placement. When God changes where you stand, He changes what can reach you. Chosen one, you're not chasing success, you're becoming positioned for assignment. And in the next part, we're going deeper into how this new position will activate your influence, attract divine opportunities, and initiate the supernatural transfer you've been sensing in your spirit. Because this shift you're feeling right now is not emotional. Chosen ones. This next layer is not about more noise or more striving. It is about deeper alignment right now. Heaven is not just moving around you. It is recalibrating what moves through you. Your desires are shifting. Your priorities are rearranging. The hunger you feel is not for validation, applause, or comfort. It is for purpose. It is for precision. It is for the assignment that has had your name on it long before you ever understood why you felt different. Chosen one. The tension you feel is not confusion, it is expansion. When God stretches you, it feels like pressure. When God elevates you, it feels like discomfort. When God prepares you, it feels like isolation. But none of this is punishment. It is positioning. Because where you are going, comfort would have disqualified you. There are places of influence that cannot be occupied by people who still need approval. There are doors of provision that do not open for people who still crave applause. Heaven is building endurance inside you, not just success around you. That's why some prayers were delayed, not denied, delayed, because your capacity had to grow before the blessing arrived. If it came earlier, It would have crushed you. Now it will carry you. Chosen one, listen closely. Your financial upgrade will not just come as money. It will come as access. It will come as positioning. It will come as favor in strategic environments. People in rooms you've never entered will start speaking your name with respect. Ideas you held quietly will start surfacing publicly. Paths you thought were closed will start reopening in unexpected ways. Not because of luck, but because alignment attracts movement. You are transitioning from survival thinking into stewardship thinking, and that requires an internal shift. You will start noticing how desperate energy is leaving you, how rushing is fading, how anxiety is losing its grip. Because when heaven positions you, urgency is replaced by authority. You no longer chase. You no longer beg. You no longer distort yourself to be accepted. You attract through alignment. And some people around you won't understand this. They'll say you've become distant. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're too quiet now. Let them speak. Not every voice is designed to understand your season. When eagles ascend, pigeons see pride. When chosen ones rise, insecure minds see offense. But confusion in others is often confirmation in the spirit. Chosen one, Twanan. Don't shrink because they misunderstand you. Don't slow down because they can't follow your frequency. Don't dim because their eyes can't adjust to your brightness. Darkness doesn't get to vote on your destiny. And now, as this alignment deepens, something else will begin to activate. Discernment. Your ability to sense motives before words. Your ability to detect fake favor before disappointment. Your ability to see opportunities before they arrive. Not paranoia, not suspicion, but divine clarity. Because elevation without discernment leads to destruction. And God does not promote unprotected vessels. You will start recognizing who is meant to walk with you, who is meant to learn from you, and who is simply meant to observe from a distance. Everyone who claps is not assigned. Everyone who praises is not aligned. Everyone who returns is not restored. Some people are seasonal, some are lessons, some are witnesses, and you don't owe access to those who only want proximity. Chosen one. Your peace is your boundary. Your spirit is your filter. Your silence is your protection. And while others are busy reacting, you will start moving strategically, not emotionally, not impulsively, but with divine awareness. Because God is not just shifting your circumstances, He is shifting your operating system. You will start thinking differently, responding differently, choosing differently, and attracting differently. And this is how supernatural transfer begins. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with alignment. So stay anchored, stay focused, stay surrendered. Because what is moving towards you now is not just provision, it is positioning for purpose. Chosen ones, as this alignment continues, another dimension begins to unfold, not in the noise of the world, but in the stillness of your inner life. When heaven starts to truly promote a chosen one, it does not rush, it settles, and in that settling, clarity takes root. Chosen one. You may have noticed that the things that once excited you no longer hold the same power. The distractions are losing flavor. The environment that once felt familiar now feels too small. That is not boredom. That is transcendence. You are outgrowing spaces that can no longer contain the version of you that is being formed. This is holy friction. This is divine discomfort. And it is necessary. Because every level of elevation demands a level of separation, not from people out of pride, but from patterns out of obedience. There are habits you cannot carry where God is taking you. There are conversations you cannot keep entertaining. There are mindsets you cannot keep feeding, not because they are evil, but because they are too heavy for the altitude. Chosen one, you are entering a realm where clarity costs comfort, where obedience requires distance, where destiny demands discipline. And here's the truth most won't tell you. The hardest part of divine promotion is not receiving the blessing. It's releasing what no longer fits. You will feel tension between what you know and what others still accept. You will see through things they still justify. You will feel called away from what once felt normal, and some will feel abandoned by your growth. But you were not called to remain out of guilt. You were called to rise out of obedience. That's why God is strengthening your backbone right now. You're noticing that you no longer argue like before. You don't explain like before. You don't defend like before. Silence has become natural, not because you're weak, but because you're wise, because chosen one. Power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it stands still and lets the world adjust. And while you've been adjusting internally, heaven has been organizing externally. Systems are shifting. Opportunities are lining up. Divine connections are being arranged. There are people you haven't met yet who are already speaking your name. You don't know them, but your spirit knows their season. This is why you felt a strange anticipation lately. That quiet knowing that something is close. Even though nothing around you seems different yet, that's not illusion. That's divine proximity. When something from God approaches, it announces itself in the spirit before it arrives in the natural. Chosen one, don't rush this moment. Don't try to force the door. Don't chase what hasn't knocked yet. Alignment attracts arrival. And here's what you must guard carefully now, peace. Because peace is not just a feeling anymore. Peace is your signal. If a path removes your peace, it is not your assignment. If a conversation drains you, it is not your environment. If a decision creates confusion, it is not divine. God does not speak through anxiety. He confirms through stillness. And that's why you're being taught restraint. Because this next phase is not for emotional reactors, it is for spiritual responders. People who don't move out of panic, but out of precision. So stay aware, stay listening, stay aligned, because the next shift will not come with case. It will come with quiet certainty, and when it does, you won't ask, you will recognize it. Chosen ones. As we come to the end of this moment, feel the atmosphere still around you. This is not just closure, this is sealing. Heaven has not spoken in theory tonight. It has moved in action. Your Kairos moment is here, not approaching, not coming soon. It is unfolding now. The same promise written in Habakkuk chapter 2. Verse 3 was not meant for history. It was meant for this hour, and you are standing inside it. I declare over you the supernatural transfer is already in motion. What was delayed has shifted. What was locked has opened. What was heavy has lifted. Chosen ones. Receive this. Your recent battles were not resistance. They were preparation. Your silence was not absence. It was incubation. And your waiting was not punishment. It was positioning. May clarity guard your mind. May divine favor surround your finances. May peace anchor your decisions. And may the spirit of wisdom lead your steps forward. Stay faithful. Stay aligned. Stay grateful. Because what God begins, He completes. And if this word resonates in your spirit, leave a sign of alignment below, not for attention, but as a witness in the unseen realm. You are not forgotten. You are not delayed. You are chosen. For this moment, walk in it and let heaven confirm what was spoken.